the big question is, can you start doing e-commerce in a successful way without a omnichannel plan for approach or without a solid plan?
Or a great plan.
Or an awesome plan?
I love it when the plan comes together. Right, so first step in winning in e-commerce, Ruben. What is the first step that people have to think about?
Yeah, it's normally speaking, we take 5 steps.
Yep.
And it's not to say that all these 5 steps need to be taken after each other. Sometimes we start with step 4, but most of the times we start with step 1, of course, which is the omnichannel plan for approach.
Or step 0.
Or step 0 even, yes,
Yeah.
yes, correct. The thing with the omnichannel roadmap and the omnichannel plan for approach basically is we check the preconditions which are or are not in place before even starting to think about doing e-commerce. So, is your department ready? Do you have your KPIs in place? What's your current performance? And ultimately, what is the overall objective with e-commerce?
Yeah. And that's, I think what we see is that when brands start thinking about marketplaces, because obviously that's the thing that we do, marketplace automation, when brands are thinking about those things, that they get attracted to talking to us, because of the fact that we integrate. But that's not step 0. That's not where you start. But what you see is that these brands have all kinds of questions, and I've read a lot about marketplaces and how to sell, and watched a lot of videos, but aren't quite sure on, okay, but I understand all the opportunities that lie with marketplace for my brand, but what's the impact on my organization? What should I do? What's the thing that would really start to irritate me if I don't think about it beforehand?
The things which we experience a lot is that brands or retailers, they come in at Greenhouse and they say, we need to do something with marketplace.
Yeah.
That's basically the one-liner which we always hear.
Yeah.
And then we ask a question back like, okay, but what do you want to achieve with those marketplaces? What's your overall objective? And then they're like, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
And then we start asking questions like, okay, what's your KPI on performance? What's your KPI on logistics? What's the impact on your organization indeed? Is your organization ready? Is the board on board with the plans you are making for e-commerce? Stuff like that. Yes.
Yeah. What we've done a couple of months ago, I guess, is we've written an article. It was published on eMerce, but also did that in a white paper, which is this one. And this is a print, but you can download it from the website. And it shows a couple of really important aspects of doing D2C for a brand on the marketplace, right? So check it out. It perfectly illustrates all the things that you do have to think about in step 0. So logistics, financials, customer care. Customer care is oh man, I've talked to a couple of brands last week, and what was really curious is that these sales managers for a specific country for that brand were tasked with starting up the marketplace business. It's a sales manager. I guess it's not exactly the right person to start the marketplace business with.
It's basically your business stakeholder,
which
is important.
They are obviously, especially in international brands, they've got a local office here in the Netherlands, for example, and there's a sales manager with a small team, because all they do is sales in the local office. And then they are tasked with setting up a marketplace strategy in the country. Yeah, that's something completely different, right?
Yeah.
So these people, they come in, and we talk to them for a bit, and obviously it ends up with, okay, here's a checklist with all the things that you have to think about. And customer care is pretty much always one of the most important things. The sales managers, is perfect for them to talk to their B2B customers, and they don't ask a lot of questions except for, can I get a better price, for example? But your regular Joe that is, buying something at Amazon from your brand and is asking questions about, specifics of the product. Yeah, that's something that your commercial team at your brand doesn't want to take care of.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's one of the important things. But what do you provide at Greenhouse then to have the brands think about these things and also be able to to really check these things off in terms of, okay, taken care of.
Yeah, so basically what we regularly do is do some kind of an e-commerce audit. So what we basically do is we have all those things in place, those syncing things in place, like indeed operations, financial flows, integrations, but also marketing, of course. And we do a checklist on the most basic things, like, okay, did you think of a customer care department? Do you even have a customer care department? You can imagine large brands and large retailers. Well, retailers obviously have customer care departments, but large brands often don't have that, since they only have brand management in place. So that's things which we do, of course, and then we basically create or take a snapshot, which gives us an insight in the current performance and the current score of that organization. And with that, most of the times, we don't make friends at that organization, because we say, well, the organization sucks at this moment in these parts. Do you want to succeed? Then, of course, follow these steps, and you'll be better at it.
Yeah. But you know, it's before accelerating, you'll always have to dip a bit, right? And I guess that's in this case, and for the brands, it's exactly the same story. And not making friends. Yeah, it's for the greater good.
It is, and sometimes it's an open door, of course, but sometimes you need to take a step back in order to grow. And that's most of the times a difficult part, since they come in at our place and then they say, okay, so we have a media strategy or a marketing strategy, let's execute that. And then we are going to take it a step back and say, okay, but what's your definite goal? What do you want to achieve with these kind of initiatives? And then most of the times they don't have a clear answer. And that's where when we get back to the drawing table, say, okay, what's your overall objectives? We make a framework, we make this omnichannel plan for approach. We also take into account, of course, marketplace, but also your own channel, but also your retailers. So we really take a lot into account, also your operational impact, so that you basically have the best in-class example and you can really win in e-commerce.
Yeah, exactly. So you're lined up to win then.
Correct.
Yeah, perfect. We're going to talk about all these details in other videos. So, you know, stay tuned, check the other videos, and make sure to take notes. Thanks, Ruben.